Hey there, Giant fans of fun. It's Thad, the theme park giant, and today it's Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023, and I am visiting King's Dominion in Doswell, Virginia. One of the best parks in the Cedar Fair chain. It has some absolutely incredible roller coasters. One of my all-time favorites right behind me, probably a top 5 steal. Intimidator 305, themed to Dale Earnhardt, the old NASCAR driver. There's the train right there. But 305 feet tall, over 90 miles an hour. I've already done it a couple times. I have grayed out both times at the bottom of the drop. It is that intense, and that is what I love. I know a lot of the general public is not a huge fan of it, but coaster enthusiasts come from all over the world to ride it, and it is worth the trip every time. On top of this, they have Twisted Timbers, which is a great RMC conversion of the old Hurler wooden coaster. That was my 500th coaster last year when I was here. And then just an assortment of other rides as well. We'll check it all out. We're gonna have a giant day of fun before I head back home after this awesome 8-day trip. So, come along, we're gonna have a lot of giant fun. Thanks for watching. King's Dominion is one of the nicer Cedar Fair parks, so they have a really nice entry plaza here. They actually do quite a bit of landscaping here. It is one of the prettier Cedar Fair parks, and they maintain things pretty well, so I think we're gonna have a good time here. Only be here a few hours, gotta catch a flight, but got some really great rides we wanna do. There's 2 Cedar Fair parks with the Eiffel Tower entryway. One is Kings Island near Cincinnati, and the other is King's Dominion. Definitely one of the better entryways for any park. Hopefully the tower's open. I like going up there. It's a great view. The park seems to be pretty empty, just like Busch Gardens was yesterday. Like I mentioned, I do have a flight. Probably be here about 3.5, 4 hours, but the park's looking great. I was here last April. Actually got my 500th roller coaster credit on Twisted Timbers with some friends, so that was awesome. But didn't get to spend a whole lot of time here that day, and it was packed. So I'm excited to get on some things, mainly I-305, Intimidator 305, and Twisted Timbers. So let's get going. Just to give you an idea how dead it is, I think there are 2 people on this ride. I've seen trains with like 4 people going on Dominator, and as you can see, the path is pretty much empty too. We're gonna get a lot done. A lot of the Cedar Fair parks have these smaller family wooden roller coasters. They used to be like the Scooby-Doo Ghoster coasters. Now it's themed to a Woodstock Express here at King's Dominion. I finally rode this after all these years because I have no shame anymore. And actually this is a decent sized ride and a lot of fun. So a nice little warm-up coaster for your kids, or just a nice way to get another credit if you're a total loser like I am. Cha-ching. Here's a better view of Woodstock Express. Reminds me of Blue Streak at Cedar Point, just a little smaller version. Blue Streak's more fun, but like I said, this is a fun little ride. And just to the right of it, you've got the B&M Floorless Coaster, Dominator. This was actually originally built near Cleveland at Six Flags over Ohio for a while. It was Geauga Lake. I probably pronounced that wrong, so some of the locals will have to correct me. But when that park closed, this got shipped over here. So I've actually ridden it at 2 different parks. It's a fun ride. I mean, it's a B&M Floorless. Very standard layout here. just about every floorless has this same corkscrew, you know, turn around, another corkscrew, back into the station. But it works. King's Dominion added one of these torture devices last year. When we came to the park, I had a huge line and we only had a couple hours, so I skipped it. Since it's only a few train wait this morning, I'll do it and get the credits, so I never have to think about it again. But this one's gonna hurt. I hate these. And you see the seats hang off to the side of the track. There's 8 seats on each side. And they are free spinning. Brutally uncomfortable for tall people. I will give them credit. They actually themed this whole area around this new ride last year. Like a jungle theme. The station has these funky carvings. Sports look like bamboo poles. They did a nice job with this for what the ride is. At least it's a smaller model and it's pretty fast, so the pain will only be temporary. Here's one final look at this abomination. Actually, it wasn't that bad. I did flip backwards coming right over that lift hill, so that was not fun. But for the most part, it didn't spin a whole lot. Yeah. Like I said though, they did a nice job with the theming here. You get all the jungle area, and then over here, this is their old bobsled ride. They rethemed it to be reptilian. I think it used to be avalanche. And this one's rare because it actually has a train. Most of the bobsleds in the US are like single car, the Intamin style. This is a mock brand of bobsled. You see these in Europe more often. I know Europa, Haida Park have them. But yeah, I think this might be the only one in the US. Someone will have to correct me. And you know, we're running out of bobsleds. Alpine bobsled closes soon. Got to get up there, Rick Matthews. Everybody else has it. I do really like the theming over here, so I'm gonna give it some more credit. I love that Cedar Fair has been doing things like this the last few years. Even the little food kiosk is themed to a dig site safari truck. Yeah, good stuff. If you know anything about King's Dominion, then you know this is the main draw. Intimidator 305, 305 feet tall, over 90 miles an hour. One of the most intense roller coasters I've ever experienced. I gray out almost every other time on it. It pulls so many G's after that first hill. I love this thing. One of my top 5 steals. Has to be. And I'm hoping for no lines. The park is dead, so I'm assuming so. So sad. Volcano is gone. They tore most of the structure down. It's one of the only memories of a classic structure. Volcano was a really fun ride. It's had so many issues though. There aren't many rides anymore that I struggle to fit on, but Flight of Fear is one just because I'm so tall and there is very little leg room. I got denied at Kings Island last year, but I also heard that they really reduced the size of the seat belts right before I got there that week. So I don't know if that's an issue here or not, but we're gonna try and finally get this credit. It's an indoor launched roller coaster. Time to grab a locker and cross my fingers. I was not able to get on Flight of Fear as I anticipated. I cannot even get the lap bar over my knee. My size 15 feet can barely get under the restraint because it has these weird foot restraints on there, so it is just a no-go, and that's fine. Things happen. And when Intimidator 305 is right next door, it cheers me up quite a bit. So I'll get over the lost credit. I will never get to ride Flight of Fear at Kings Island or Kings Dominion, and I have come to that realization. But I get to ride a lot better rides, like this one. So 2 rides with no waits already. It is hauling. Man, it's a beautiful day too. Grayed out on both of my rides. Coming out of that first turn and into that airtime hill. It's just so intense. It's so smooth though. I mean, I'll be honest, you have to know how to kind of ride this thing or you're gonna get thrown around because some of those turns are wicked. They are so intense, but man, I love how snappy it is. I love, there's like 3 ejector airtime moments on this thing. It just never lets up until this brake run, and you can just see the looks on these people's faces. One of the most intense roller coasters in the world. Like I said, there's no wait today, and they're running 2 trains. The park is empty. You gotta love it. They're running everything at capacity. I'm not sure why, but I'm not gonna complain. And they're starting to test Anaconda. I will not be riding that thing. I promise you that. I will be riding more of this though. And Intamin uses one of their elevator lifts to get you to that 305-foot tall pinnacle in a hurry. How snappy these turns are here at the end, like a race car. Although they're not all left-hand turns like NASCAR would be doing. Such a great ride. Off in the distance you can see Reptilian. Get an idea what the trains actually look like. It's kind of hard over in that area, but I saw this just in case you've never seen it. Actually don't remember it being this extensive of theming when I was here last year. There's even more over away from, is it Timbali? Huh. Parks used to be run by and owned by Paramount. So they actually had a lot of like movie IPs they would use. They built a bunch of these Italian job roller coasters with pretty extensive theming. A lot of special effects and things. I don't think most of them are still working. But now it's just called the Backlot Stunt Coaster. But you'll see here, the trains are modeled after Mini Coopers. Actually, there's one over here on the brake run. But it's got multiple launches. It's a fun little family launch coaster. Nothing super exciting, but they are a lot of fun. you check it out if you're here. Back in this area, there used to be a helicopter and some explosions and things. I don't hear those going off anymore. But, I mean, it's been open quite a few years, so I don't expect a lot of the effects to work at this point. But all in all, oh, the fire did go off. Maybe I'm wrong. They do have some things working. And there's the iconic photo. The old arrow over here, the arrow looper, anaconda. Its claim to fame, in my opinion, it actually goes underwater. The first drop goes underwater. It's in this little pond, lake area. So I always thought that was super cool when I was a kid, when I saw it on TV. And then when I finally got to ride it, I realized it's very rough. I don't think this is going to be around much longer. Have they actually announced that? I can't remember, but it's been a long time since I've ridden it, and I don't miss it. I'm old enough to remember watching the movie Roller Coaster, and they came to King's Dominion and they had these creepy singing mushrooms. I'll never forget that part of the movie. And then they brought these back a few years ago. They're more modernized. You got the frog playing the piano on the tree stump. The mushrooms need a break every 15 minutes or so, it says. I never seem to catch them singing when I'm here. This area got a re-theme. I think it was a re-theme to the original, the Candy Apple Grove, a few years ago, along with the mushrooms. It's one of the nice things King's Dominion's been doing. They're kind of acknowledging their past while also continuing to move forward. As you can see, the midway is completely dead. It is emptier than Busch Gardens was yesterday. Loving it. You can just see how massive I-305 is. It's like twice the size of Anaconda, probably more. In the back of the park, they do have a classic wooden racer. It is called Racer 75. It used to be Rebel Yell. Depending on the year you hit this thing, it can be pretty good. It can be pretty rough. It just depends how much maintenance they've done. It's a good layout, but yeah, it can be a little rough. I mean, it's almost 50 years old now. And the other major ride here at the park, Twisted Timbers, with its drop that does like the barrel roll. I gotta get out of here, this music's too loud. Twisted Timbers was formerly the Hurler, a very rough and very not good roller coaster, and RMC showed up and said, hey, we can turn this into an awesome ride. So they did. This was my 500th when I was here last year, so it's a bit of a, you know, it's an important ride for me. I love this ride. It is compact. I love these smaller RMCs, like Hershey has the Wildcats Revenge now. I'm excited to ride this after doing a few more RMCs over the last year so I can compare it. And yeah, I'm gonna get in line. I just had a couple rides on this. There's no wait. And this thing is absolutely insane. So many just ejector airtime hills. There's probably like 20 just bunny hops, and every single one is just, you fly out of your seat. It is crazy. Super smooth, super fun. This drop is one of the best they've made. Just a lot to love about this ride. I gotta be honest though, after a week of riding RMCs and other crazy things, my thighs and my shins have had just about as much as they can handle. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna ride it anymore or not. Plus I gotta get going soon. Man, what an awesome ride. Definitely one I cannot go hands-free on. My shins would break in half on this thing. That little bunny hop right there. Woo. Park has a wild mouse with one of the stranger names, Apple Zapple. Apple Zapple. Not a whole lot to say about this one. It's a mouse. A different angle of that drop. They only have a few, what, 2 maybe? I guess I don't know for sure, but these inverted drops off the hill are just crazy. Just adds another level of this. For being such a small ride, do not let this thing fool you. It's the most intense ride in the park for airtime. Not even close. All these hills over here are just ejector air. And it's just over and over and over. And then it comes back through again. Airtime. Barrel roll, airtime. So back here you get a good look from the queue. So there's like the first drop, you go down around the station and come back, and it is just these 2 straight ridiculous airtime hills, ejector air. There's a third one too back here, followed by this kind of back and forth barrel roll thing. I don't use the terms the rest of the nerds do, so you'll have to deal with it. I think you know what a barrel roll is. Just pure airtime that first time around, and then you come back through and go back these smaller ejector air hills. Got a little barrel roll here, and then yeah, just airtime, 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 air. Every little change in elevation just sends you flying. See if we can get a view of this drop from down here in the queue. Doesn't look the best. If you wonder where Mater ended up, he's theming at King's Dominion now. Normal people ask me a lot, hey, theme park giant, what's the scariest ride? Well, they always ask what the scariest roller coaster is. I don't really get scared on roller coasters. But if you want to know what I will never ride again, it is a Star Flyer or a Wind Seeker. I hate these. I hate sustained heights. I would rather go on a drop tower. Those don't bother me. I hate these. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. I've done a few. I'm good. I did the 400-foot tall Star Flyer in Dallas. I'm good. Yep. Enjoy for those that like them. I don't. I should probably know better because I've never liked Grizzly. But I've been told it's running great. They did a lot of work on it. So, all right, I'm gonna give it another shot. Last time I did this, actually the shirt I'm wearing, Coasting for Kids is a fundraiser for Kid Kids the World. And I came here in 2013 with some friends and we did it. And I had to ride a really rough Grizzly for an hour straight. I will never do it again. Well, I lied. Here I am. I'm never gonna ride it for an hour straight, I don't think, but hopefully it's at least rideable. I don't know. I don't buy it. I'm already having nightmares. Flashbacks. If you know me a long time, you know I can be a pretty stubborn person. But I'm fair, and when I'm wrong, I admit it. Well, I wasn't wrong. Grizzly wasn't a good ride. But the work they've done to it, it's pretty good. It's pretty smooth, fast, airtime. The shed has the ejector air that it used to be known for. Like, I basically ended up sitting on top of the lap bar. But yeah, good ride. So I have a question. If you're in a completely empty park, like completely empty, and you see a guy standing there recording something, clearly recording something, would you go stand right next to him like you have no idea what's going on? I don't get it. People are weird, man. You want to know how busy the park is? The log ride has empty logs. That's how empty the park is today. Super lucky. The Eiffel Tower is not open today, so you can't go to the top. I'm running out of time anyway. Gotta get this rental car back to the airport and get ready for my flight. And it looks like it's actually closed for the season. Did it open at all? No clue. I do love all the landscaping they do at this park. They let a lot of the natural, like forests, stay here. And then just things like this clock made out of flowers at the end of this walkway. It really is a great park. They could use a few more headliners, but I mean, the two they have are as good as it gets. Still not singing? No. Just once? No. Few last shots of I-305 before I get on the road. I wish I lived closer to this thing. It's so good. And even for how intense it is, I can ride it over and over and over and over, even though I gray out most of the time. I realized I didn't really show the front half of Dominator this morning when I walked by, so here it is. There's the drop into the loop, Cobra roll, etc. Very standard if you know what a B&M floorless is. Well, giant fans of fun, that's gonna do it from King's Dominion. I had an awesome day at yet another awesome park on this trip. This does it for my 8-day coaster trip. I can't wait to get all the content out there. Kennywood, Waldameer, Cedar Point, Knoebels, Hershey, Six Flags Great Adventure, Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and King's Dominion. All great parks, all have amazing rides. Obviously, Intimidator 305, Twisted Timbers are the two absolute stars of this park, and just everything in general. It's a really good park. It's not Cedar Point, it's not Kings Island, but it's way better than a lot of parks of this size, regional parks like this. So if you're ever in Virginia, DC area, make sure you swing by Kings Dominion if you love giant roller coasters. All right, I had a giant day of fun. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and we'll see you next time.